Let's take a look at this Q7 vlog camera that I got on Temu for about $14, but they go for about $20 to $30. So if you catch it on sale, you might get it for $14, $15, which is a pretty decent buy for what it is. Here's the display itself. Got the instruction manual, USB-A to USB-C charging, 2 lanyards. Here's the device itself, and although it looks like it can rotate sideways, it does not. So you can only rotate vertically, not horizontally. This side right here is the speaker. The display is a portrait-oriented 1.9-inch screen. Here's the menu, mode button, your action button. This dot here is the microphone, and this is the status light. On this side is your up and down button, has multiple uses. The power button. Down here is your lanyard connector. The back is a grippy pattern, actually feels pretty decent. And here's the main camera module with some LEDs on the side for extra lighting. Down here is your tripod connector and your USB-C charge port. The camera is listed to be 4K capable. Again, it's a 1.9-inch display with a resolution of 170 by 320. The battery is rated at 2000 milliamp hours. Its weight is stated to be 6 ounces. It says that the max size memory card it can take is 128 gigabytes, but I've tried a 256 and it did fill up the whole 256. So here's that portrait-oriented display, and I want to show you something. When you're viewing it like this, where it takes up the whole portrait display, it's actually zoomed in. Right now I'm going to go into the menu and change the display to a portrait display. And as you see now, my entire width of the keyboard is visible, whereas before you could only see the top and bottom and the sides were cut off. That's kind of a strange design because people usually want to see a larger display, but it's actually cut off with this setup. Now for the rotatable video camera, it does automatically reorient itself while you're rotating it. So if you flip it back over to record yourself, it's not upside down, which is a good feature. It toggles around right here. Before I get into how this works, let's look at some samples of photos and videos. One thing I want to point out is that when you set the screen to horizontal mode, it actually records in the full resolution 2560 by 1440. On the menu, it's listed as 2.5K UHD, or what the ad claims to be 4K. But when you switch it to a vertical recording mode, the resolution drops down to 1024 by 1440. So if you want to look at the full screen on the camera's display, you're actually viewing a cropped image, and recording this way, it's actually cropped. So there's no benefit to recording with a vertical display because you can get more recorded with a horizontal display, even though you see a smaller picture on the camera's display. It's really a bad setup, but that's how it's designed. So just keep that in mind.
Do you want to play? Do you want to play?
After seeing the quality of the images and videos, if you want to know how this works, let's go through it. This is the power on switch, and this is how you change modes with the M button here. You can think of it as menu or mode. You can see the mode icon on the top left corner here. This is the video recording mode. Tap the M button again and you'll see it goes into photography mode, indicated by the camera icon on the top. Next is the playback mode, indicated by the play button icon on the top. And those are the three modes. It will cycle back to the video recording mode. Now in video recording mode, the up button on the side toggles the microphone. You'll get an indication with the microphone icon on the top also. The down button cycles through all the different effects that you can use with your recordings. If you hold down the up and down arrows, it goes to the zooming in and out function. The power key, if you tap it, it activates the LED lights. You can light up a subject or your environment. And the action key starts and stops the recording. You'll get indications on the screen and on the LED status light. The next mode is photography mode, and it's very similar to the video recording mode. Holding up and down zooms in and out. But the up button, when you tap it, no longer functions because you're not recording audio, so there's no more mute. The down button, when you tap it, just like the video mode, cycles through all the effects. And the power key, when you tap it, activates the LED lights again. The action key takes a photo. Tap the M again and you change to playback mode. Tapping up and down cycles through your media that's stored on the SD card. Now when you're on an image, holding the up and down keys triggers the zoom in function, and you'll see that there's a red rectangle on the top indicating which area of the entire photo you're zooming into. When you're in this zoomed in mode, you'll see the arrows indicating that you can pan up, down, left, and right. Tapping the up and down keys on the side pans up and down. And the keys in the front, M and action, is for left and right. To exit the zoomed in panning mode, hit the power key once. When playing back video media, the action key starts playing. Holding the up and down keys, fast forwards or fast rewind. If you were to tap those up and down keys, it controls the volume of the video playback. Alright, now let's go through the menu settings. You get to the menu by holding down the M key. You can navigate the menu with the up and down to select your choices, and the action key to confirm, or use the M key to back out. First up is the video direction. As I showed you earlier, this lets you record in portrait or landscape mode. Horizontal being landscape, vertical being portrait obviously. Resolution refers to the video recording resolution. You get your 2.5K, 1080p, or 720p. Loop recording is how long in terms of time duration you want file separation to be. So 3 minutes every file you're recording, it will split the file every 3 minutes. I'll leave it at 5 minutes. Video rate is the type of video you want to capture. Normal and fast records at 30 frames per second, but fast is more for action shots. Slow records at 10 frames per second and it's automatically slow motion. So if you record in slow, it's going to play back in slow motion. Photo size refers to the megapixels of the photos you take. Timer mode is the delay from pressing the shutter to when it snaps the picture. Burst mode lets you take multiple shots by just holding down the shutter button or the action key. Timestamp places the date and time information in your videos and photos. Composition line is just guidelines on your screen. The screen brightness refers to how bright this 1.9-inch screen is. The screensaver shuts off this display at a certain designated time. Auto power off shuts down the camera after a certain amount of time. Volume is the volume of the user interface. You can hear it beeping as you navigate the menu. Language sets your language. Format is for your SD card. Time and date sets the time and date. Default reverts it back to the factory settings. And the version shows you your firmware. If you hook this up to your PC through the USB port with it off, it just goes to the charging mode. But if you turn it on with the SD card in there, you can access your files directly from Windows. But if you hook it up while it's on and without the SD card, then it becomes a webcam. As far as battery life goes on the 2000 milliamp hour battery, I got about 8 hours of recording time before it shut itself off with a full charge. As you can see from my file list, I started at 9:48 p.m. and it shut itself off at 5:44. 4 AM. So while the quality is pretty poor, it is also pretty cheap, and if you can get it for about $20 or less, it's a fun toy to have around and makes a great gift idea for little kids to play around with.